Everyone, so you're welcome back to my channel. So this is the continuation of my PCOS story. I hope you guys enjoyed my previous video. So guys, please watch this video to the end. Thank you guys. So after being diagnosed with PCOS, I was prescribed letrozole from my doctor to help stimulate ovulation. And I remember asking my doctor if it was going to help, and he assured me that I should not worry, that it was going to help stimulate ovulation. So I was so happy. I had a lot of hope at last that okay, I think this is it. This is going to work. And I could remember then, after taking letrozole to stimulate ovulation, I had to wait for like I think 10 days because my doctor had to start follicular tracking. So this like a tracking, like ovulation tracking, to be sure that you're actually ovulating. So it's just like a kind of scan that they'll use to check your follicles. And they'll see that maybe there's a big follicle or something. There's a way they measure it, and they'll be like, okay, you're ovulating, you're good to go. So I was happy that I was ovulating and the letrozole was working for me. I just had hope. My hope was so high. I was really excited because I knew I was going to get pregnant. And so fast forward to the day when I missed my period. When I noticed that I missed my period, I was super excited, even if I had not checked. But I was like, okay, this is it. Then I did my home pregnancy test, and guys, I was pregnant. Hey God, that was the first time in how many years it was happening, because I could remember I was trying and there was nothing happening. So I was super excited. I had to go to the doctor, and they confirmed it through blood test, and the doctor was like, okay, we need to start following up, checking and everything. And I could remember that period. My hope was so high. I was just happy that everything was going on well. Then I had to go for my first scan because of my past history. Like I'm taking letrozole to now. I took letrozole to ovulate, so I had like series of doctor's appointments. I had my first scan. They said okay, the baby was forming well. There was no issue. I was like, I was happy. Then so fast forward to my second doctor's appointment. I didn't expect anything. I just knew everything was going on well. The doctor like did a scan, checked me, and guys, the shock I had that day. So I was looking at the doctor's face, and while the doctor was doing the scan, he was looking worried. I was like looking at his face, as in normally when I go for scan, they just check once and just be like, okay, there's no problem. But he checked, carried the stuff around my tummy, was checking. I was like, is there any problem? He said, no. I think you need to go to the sonographer for him to check the baby very well. I said, okay, no problem. So when I got to the sonographer, guys, I got there, the sonographer checked, and he was also looking worried. And the next thing he told me that, madam, there's no heartbeat. I was like, what does that mean? The fetus is not viable. There's no heartbeat. That was when like I had the shock of my life. I was like, normally I know that a miscarriage, someone that has a miscarriage will be bleeding. I told the man like, this cannot be possible. I've not had any issues. I've not seen any bleeding and everything. So why is there no heartbeat? Do you mean that there's something wrong with the baby or something? He said the baby is not viable. The fetus is dead. I was like, what? Guys, I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it because this kind of thing was strange. I think that was the first time I was experiencing or hearing of something like that. The doctor, I went back to the doctor, asked me, did I bleed in any way? I said no, I didn't bleed. I was like asking him, is there anything we can do to help the pregnancy? He said there's nothing, you have to go for evacuation. Guys, I was like so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I just started crying because it happened unexpectedly. I didn't expect to hear that kind of news in the doctor's appointment. I went to the hospital with high hopes, excitement, and I was just down. So doctor was like, okay, do you need to do drugs for the evacuation or do a D&C? I said, okay, I think let me try drugs because I don't know. I've not done D&C, so I don't know how it works. So drugs was like safer for me. So I went home, took the medication, and that was how everything, the baby, everything came out. I think that was at the first trimester. That was how I had my first missed miscarriage, because they call it missed miscarriage. It's not like the bleeding one, just like the one you go for scan and they'll tell you there's no heartbeat, the fetus is gone, is dead, and all that. So that was how I bled out. Guys, I was just so sad because that was like my first miscarriage. And I said, okay, my family, they were like, okay, um, there's no problem. That it happens to so many women. That it's normal. So I took it that okay, many women have like one miscarriage or so, and it's normal for them. So I had high hopes again. You know, went back to the doctor after everything was over, and he said, okay, I should wait for like 2 months or 3 months, then come back to the hospital, and for him to prescribe another letrozole again. Because if you could remember, guys, I was not ovulating on my own. I have to take ovulation drugs like letrozole, clomid, but I was put on letrozole for reasons personal to the doctor. So after 3 months, I went back again to the hospital um to take the letrozole medication, and we proceeded to do the follicular tracking and all that, and the doctor also gave me a go ahead. So I already knew the way the process was. It's just like a regular process, so it wasn't new to me again. So I took in again. I was pregnant again for the second time. I was excited and a bit nervous because of the my first experience, but I had high hopes and I believed that the second one was going to stay. Um, so we started on that process of doctor's appointments, scan, everything was going on well. Then I noticed that I started having this feeling of pregnancy. I was feeling nauseous, dizzy, and all that because I was having like, the feeling I was pregnant. I was having the signs of pregnancy. So it's a good thing, everything was going on well. Then at a point, I stopped having those signs of pregnancy. All those pregnancy signs just stopped. And I could remember, I think my friend was around and I was telling her my worries. I told her, I don't know what's going on, but I think my pregnancy signs have stopped. But I don't know what it means. I can remember I was going online to browse to check what does it mean when you're no longer feeling signs of pregnancy, and I was getting scared and all that. And guys, there's one thing I want to say. When you're going through this kind of process, it changes you both physically and spiritually. I could remember my prayer life changed. I started praying more because when I had my first miscarriage, I was having series of dreams, but I didn't feel it was anything. I just felt it was maybe I didn't take it as anything. Let me just say that. But this second pregnancy, I remember I was praying. I was like, putting everything in the hands of God. And I can remember going for my second, third. I think at my third appointment, I went to the doctors again to do a scan just to check because I was a little bit worried my pregnancy signs had stopped. Then I can remember the doctor's face again. He did not even sugarcoat anything. He just told me there's no heartbeat. I was like, not again. What is going on? He said, I don't know, but there's no heartbeat. There's nothing. The baby is gone. The fetus is dead. In fact, I started crying from the doctor's office. Like, what is happening? What is wrong? Then I remember that whole period I was just down. I was just like, it can't happen again. But it has happened, and we did evacuation and it went. So guys, this was the second time I was having a miscarriage. And this miscarriage, let me just cut the long story short, it happened 5 times. I had 5 miscarriage just like this. Just the same process, the same thing all over again. And in fact, it really changed the kind of person I was, because at that point, there's something that will happen to you, nothing else matters again. At that point, nothing else mattered to me. I just wanted a baby. I just wanted another child. because it was like you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're going through the right process, and there's nothing. It's just the same thing happening all the time. And I want to emphasize on the spirituality of this aspect because um I'm a Catholic, and sometimes when things are going on, we tend to like, as Africans, we tend to look at the spirituality of everything. You might feel this is medical stuff. This is this. I took the medical route. I won't lie. I did everything medically to make sure that that miscarriage stopped. Like it shouldn't happen again, but it kept on happening. It kept on happening. I was asking the doctor, "Oh, what is the problem? Is it because I have PCOS? But I'm getting pregnant with my medication. But why am I miscarrying at every given opportunity?" I didn't really understand it because I could remember before I find out that there was no heartbeat from the scan. I always have this kind of dreams, and in my dreams, it was very clear in my dreams. Like in my dreams, I would see that I already have a miscarriage. In my dreams, like all my 5 miscarriages, it showed me in my dream that there was a miscarriage, and I'll wake up, I'll be sweating, I'll start praying, 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 praying. I prayed a lot that period. I really, really prayed. And fast forward to my 5th miscarriage. I was like, I told my husband that maybe God wants us to have one child. And my husband said, God forbid that is not the plan of God for us. God cannot allow us to have one child when we want more children. And he told me to rebuke it because the tongue is powerful. And I rebuked it, but it's in my mind I was just hopeless. I was like, there's nothing else, there's nothing again, like there's no hope because we've gone everywhere and this kind of thing continued happening. So guys, this is just like in fact I don't want to start remembering those periods because it was just really hectic, and there was no, as in I didn't have any hope. So some people will call me, my friends will call and say, okay, take this one, I will take. In fact, there was one time that someone directed me to a place like all these herbal places where they do all this herbal medication, all this, I don't know if people know this herbal kind of medication, all those kind of things. And I said, okay, let me go. Since I've tried English medicine and everything, nothing is working. Let me go there and see, try something else. And I went, and there's this kind of herbal stuff they mixed. If you open, hey, God of mercy, there was a day I opened that medication in the house, the whole house, the smell that thing brings. In fact, someone will just come to my house and say, why is this medicine smelling like this and you're drinking it? I'll be like, I don't have a choice, I have to drink it. I didn't even know what I was drinking. I didn't even know what they mixed inside that thing. I was just drinking it because I was looking for a solution. God, it is well. I was just taking it because I didn't have any other hope. I've lost hope on medication. I was just looking for a solution. I was taking that stuff, and it didn't know the worst part. I was taking it. The thing was messing with my hormones. My period was no longer regular. I had to stop because why would I be taking something for a solution and the thing is bringing more problems? So, guys, I had to stop. That period, it was just really something else. Then someone will now refer you to a pastor. The pastor will start saying something else. That was when I knew that all these pastors, many of them are fake. Many of all these pastors you're seeing, there are so many fakes out there. There was one pastor said, someone referring me to, this pastor, you see, he does vision. I said, okay, let me go there. But my husband didn't want me to go there because he was like, no, you don't need to go. I said, no, let me just go. No, there's nothing, you don't just to go there. But before I went there, I prayed for 3 days. I was praying, praying, say, God, say, I was telling God that if this pastor is fake, let him not see anything concerning my life. As I enter that church, anything that they are worshiping, they will not affect me because I'm a child of God. That was how I prayed when I went to this church. That even the person that brought me to the church, the pastor was like seeing visions, seeing things about the person. The person was like saying, oh, it's true, pastor, it's true, pastor. You go to my turn. Pastor did not even see anything concerning my life. The pastor was even trying to ask me questions to get information from me so that he will now formulate it and manipulate it and say he's seeing vision for me. I was just using it as pastor was asking me questions, I was answering and that. This person didn't even say anything for me. That was how I dust my slippers like this, ran away from that church. Most of these pastors, most of them, that wasn't I knew. Most of them are just fake. Like people need to be careful, especially when you have issues. Like when you have serious issues like this, be careful of the churches you go to, the pastors you meet, because many of them are not really genuine, and just need to be careful. So guys, um fast forward till when God came through for me. So this is going to be another video, guys. So watch out for the last part of this story, because it gets interesting, guys. So please, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to your friends, family, and loved ones, because you don't know it will help, right? Bye for now.